campaign against regime targets has continued without pause. The Israeli military releasing these images of a huge set of strikes against a compound belonging to the Iranian security forces. And for much of the day, smoke has billowed over Tehran. The view from homes revealing the severity of this second day of attacks. Some Iranians on the streets have been celebrating the US and Israeli strikes, hoping it will trigger the regime's collapse. Several seen attacking a building belonging to the despised internal security forces. But others, the loyalists, have been mourning Ayatollah Khamenei's death and vowing revenge. In the central Iranian city of Yazd, thousands gathered to protest the attacks. This is a theocracy that may prove surprisingly resilient. And they chanted the familiar slogan, "Death to America." The announcement last night on Iranian TV of Khamenei's death reduced the news presenter to tears. According to the Iranian foreign minister, there is no resulting power vacuum. He says Iran had every right to respond militarily.
We are defending ourselves, and we have every right, every legitimate right to defend ourselves. What the United States is doing is an act of aggression.
And respond they have. Waves of drones have been launched, including a strike on a US airbase in Kuwait. The American base in Erbil in northern Iraq was also struck, reportedly by an Iranian proxy Shiite militia. One ballistic missile penetrated Israel's defensive shield and caused devastation west of Jerusalem, with 9 fatalities. The Pentagon has today released this footage of US forces firing missiles at Iranian launch sites. And despite the first American casualties of the war, with 3 US soldiers dead, Donald Trump late tonight described the mission as on track.
Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats.
And today the ominous ripple effects of the war are becoming clear. From an Iranian strike on an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman to riots on the streets of Karachi. Here, a crowd of protesters attacked the US consulate in the city, breaking into the outer perimeter before security forces responded, killing several demonstrators. The cost of this war is coming into ever sharper focus. Iranian authorities are now saying more than 150 schoolgirls were killed at the scene of yesterday's strike. And today a hospital in Tehran had to be evacuated amid the bombing. 2 days into this war, there is no sign of regime collapse. And what happens next is entirely unclear.
Call hello. Call halayim la Yahweh ba Hashem Yahweh Waha Raha Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of great millstone. To you I say shalom. Salutations to the holy elect, your brother Amriah. And the video I just played for you was just a quick recap on what's been happening over the last several hours. Okay. You have a situation escalating over here with Iran, however you say it, which is no doubt going to lead to more interesting outcomes. All right. At the end of the snippet, he says that they don't really understand how this is going to go, but those of us in the truth already understand how this is going to go because the scriptures are prophetic, meaning they say it before it happens. All right. And being a student in the word has brought us to this moment where we have the movie script. We understand exactly what's about to happen, 100% truthfully what is about to happen. And this is judgment, people. All right. You've been warned for so long that chaos is coming in all manners and forms. All right. That the system is going to break down, that a great reset is coming. All right. That they want to enslave you through technocracy and implant a mark in you, a karagma. All right. Which is that micro C hip. And all the while, things escalating, signs, tokens, indicators, being ignored by the people the entire time the warning is going out. All right. But let's explain biblically what is about to occur. This is Joel chapter 3. And many have gone over this today, but it is very simple. All right. Repetition is the father of skill. And if you want to be skillful in the word, you must understand the very milk scriptures. All right. Verse 1, for behold, in those days and that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And Judah is a people before it is a place. Jerusalem is a people before it is a place. The Lord is going to bring about their captivity once again. And not so much in the terms of slavery, all right, but to bring them back into the fold. The elect being spoken of, all right, the remnant. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, for whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right. There's some old beef, man. All right. For the treatment of the nation of Israel. And you might not be able to connect the dots, but those of us, again, in the truth have been monitoring and watching the Lord work. All right. And he is working. Now, how is he going to plead with all flesh? Quick detour. All right. Simple, back to the basics, make it simple and plain. The Lord pleads with all flesh. How? All right. This is Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 16. It says, for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh, the Lord, plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right. All right. That is how the Lord is going to plead with flesh in the valley of Yahweh's Shaphat. All right. His judgment. We're going to skip past this. All right. This is all good and relevant, but I want to get to a specific outcome because we're in judgment. All right. And yes, the children of Israel went into bondage under these heathens, were mistreated, sold for absolutely nothing, killed for absolutely nothing, and have been in this condition for several hundreds of years. All right. And it's time for our bondage, our punishment to end. Now, verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And here's the point. All right. You other nations out there, you Persians, all right, you Medes, you Babylonians, you Assyrians, etc. Okay. You Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up, the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come down. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right. Stand up. Now is the time. Now is the time for war. All right. And don't get it twisted. I understand very much that the MOTB, the micro C-HIP, must be made mandatory before the Third World War can truly kick off full throttle. But everything is on the horizon right now. All right. You're in the midst of a lot of different chaos. And right. And you were warned the chaos is going to increase. Now it's uncertain how things are going to go for those who are not grounded in the truth. All right. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And how is the Lord going to plead with their flesh? By fire and by sword. All right. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Right. And the harvest is the end of the world. Quick detour. Because all of this is supported through scripture. All right. All right. As you can see, Matthew 13 and 39, the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels, right? Right. And the Lord is about to come down with all manner of judgment. Here's the point. How is this going to go? This is going to end up with a lot of people being unalive. Okay. And it's only going to get worse. You're not going to be able to put this back in the bag. All right. This jack in the box, back in the box. It's not going. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number. Right. All right. And that's what's coming. The Lord is about to judge all the heathen round about. 2/3 of the Israelites are about to be judged. All right. In all manner of ways. All right. Like an obstacle course of death. And not everyone is going to be judged in just straight death, because there are things worse than death. There are sufferings that can occur. All right. Starving, all manner of ways that things can take place in the near future. All right. And the ultimate message is basically repent or die. All right. You don't have long. The Lord is about to wage war against these heathens, against these Babylonians, these so-called Americans, man. All right. And he's going to draw them over there into the valley of his judgment in the so-called Middle East, where the bodies are going to drop. All right. And you can see it escalating as we speak. All right. And the least of the flock, pursuant to the scriptures, the least of the flock is drawing them out, because they got their hands so far up Donald Duck's ass. They're working him right like a puppet. They're working him right into prophecy. And we love it, man. We love it. We here are going to stay prayed up, stay repented. All right. Work as hard as we can to get this, because we almost at the finish line. We almost out of here, man. All right. Now, I'm going to end in Habakkuk chapter 3. All right. And I'll begin at verse 2. It says, O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive your work in the midst of the years, and in the midst of the years make known. In wrath, remember mercy. All right. And this is going to be for the elect. All right. Because the Lord's wrath is about to be shown in the world. The Lord is known by his judgment. I just watched several videos. You got police officers being unalived out here. All right. You got men on the phone with their families when their whole house explode. Wife and kids gone. All right. Judgment is real out here, man. You got Egyptian against Egyptian. You got spies and all manner of deviousness going around, untrustworthiness. All right. And people having hidden agendas or holding grudges, or all manner of just ways where there's just a disconnection with this world. We want it to be over, man. All right. But we listen to the Lord's speech and we are afraid because we are shaking in our boots. We understand that we're not guaranteed to receive salvation, man. All right. We're putting our best foot forward, and if so be, we shall be hidden in the day of the Lord's anger, man. All right. But continue reading. Verse 2. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive your work in the midst of the years, and in the midst of the years make known. In wrath remember mercy. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. All right. And you will understand this, and you will reckon this in the very near future. All right. And we already hearing the truth. We try to fill the world with the Lord's praise all over the unicorn's horn. All right. We're pushing it through the internet. But you will understand the glory of the Lord when he dropped these nations like the flies that they are. Verse 4. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and the burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. This is a hostile takeover by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh. Do you understand that? Do you understand how this is going to go? That's how he ended the snippet of the video I just played. They don't understand how it's going to go. We know exactly how this is going to go. This is a hostile takeover where the Son of Yahweh returns and takes over all of the governments, the mountains, the hills. They're symbolic of these governments. His ways are everlasting. His kingdom is everlasting. There will be no overthrowing Yahushua or the Israelites that rule under him. And this is what they're afraid of. This is why the plot thickens. This is why things are getting interesting, because prophecy is speaking loud and clear. Getting through it. Verse 7, I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That you did ride upon thine horses and thine chariots of salvation. Your bow was made quite naked according to the oaths of the tribes. Even your word, Selah, you did cleave the earth with rivers. Right. All right. The Lord is coming with fire in all manner of ways, from the chariots, thermonuclear fire. All right. These nations shooting their arsenal upon each other, namely America, Babylon the Great. All right. Because she have just made herself an enemy. All right. Of her allies, including. All right. This is all prophecy playing out right before your eyes. And the mountains, they're trembling. These governments, they know what time it is. You think they don't know what time it is? You don't think they're rushing like Revelations 12? Huh? Knowing that they're running out of time? Verse 10, the mountains saw you, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice, and the lifted up his hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and the shining of thy glittering spear. You did march through the land in indignation. You did thresh the heathen in anger. You went forth for the salvation of the people, of your people, even for the salvation with thine anointed. You wounded the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation onto the neck, right? And how do you put a serpent to death? You got to remove that head. All right. No more talk. The Lord is about to increase the judgment. All right. And knowing this in good conscience, still giving you warning. All right. And I don't know how this affects my situation. Quite frankly, I don't really too much care at this point. I'm just going to continue to do the work for the Lord like a dog, because I'm his dog. All right. I understand this. I'm a servant of the Lord. And if you're a servant of the Lord, Son of man, give them warning from me. Shalom.